Hello everyone, I'm back again, reading some more fanfiction for y'all. Um, Originally, I was going to do a Monster High fanfiction, but I couldn't find any that was like the ship I wanted it to do, because I was trying to find some like lesbian ships, because as a lesbian, there's not much lesbian content on my channel. It's mostly, boy love, which is absolutely okay, but I just find it kind of ironic how there's just not much lesbian stuff, but time with time we'll get more lesbians. Anyways, but today I'm back doing another ZADR fanfiction because that is what the majority of you are here for, and I would like to deliver those good gay vibes. I found this fanfiction on Wattpad called Curiosity by chansandkustard. Let's see. The little description says, Dib, an Urkin scientist, was sent to Earth to collect samples. While collecting data and substances, his ship broke. This leads to him being stuck in the miserable planets as he cannot fix it. He disguises himself and moves into a small neighborhood. To look normal, he goes to school. However, he meets a human. He says his name is Zim, and he has a superior knowledge of engineering. Well, human engineering. And it says that even though they use the word kid, like to describe Zim and whatnot, they are seniors in high school. So, yeah, I guess that's nice. Let's see, so it's, yeah, I find it really interesting how it's like swapped, how Zim's the alien and or Dib's the alien and Zim's the human. I think that's so interesting. I've never seen that before on the channel, or on the channel in like the Invader Zim fandom. There might be some fan art like that, but yeah, I haven't read it yet. Obviously, that's the whole fun of this. So hopefully it's not, hopefully there's not themes or topics that hurt the good gay vibes. Not that there's anything wrong with fanfiction that does have those topics, it's just the vibes I want on this channel. So yeah, hopefully, and there's not like any like trigger warnings or anything in the title or in the description or anything. So I'm hoping it's gonna be okay. There's not even any smut or anything like warnings or anything. So yeah, okay. So let's get into it. And again, apologies, I cannot read very well. So if, it's gonna be authentic. If I can't read a word, I might just skip it, and if I might sound it out in my head, and it might be like 20 whole seconds of silence. But, that's not those authentic, authenticity. Okay. okay. Let's get into it. Okay, chapter 1. Dib was sitting in an Urkin ship, flinging towards Earth. The ship was rolling around, turning upside down and sideways. Dib didn't know what to do. He was frantically looking at the buttons and the screen. Gaz was in the seat next to him. She was just playing on the game console without a care in the world, while on the other hand, Dib was panicking. He'd never been on a ship before, and clearly didn't know how to fly one. He cautiously looked over the buttons. He saw a red one with a warning sign. Warning signs usually mean emergencies, right? This sounded an alarm. Gaz, a little help? He yelled. Gaz looked at him in disgust. He can't do anything right, she thought, as she grabbed the wheel and prepared for a landing. The ship still hit the ground on its side, though. Dib took the communicator out of his pack. It's Gaz's game slave console, but the screen hovers and it's used for communication. He contacted one of the tallists, Professor Membrane. The call was answered by him, and Membrane was shown with a clipboard writing a few things down. Son, how's the mission? Membrane asked. Tallest Bitters was commanding, or lecturing, invaders Keith and Paunchy. Are those characters? Sorry. Anyways, unfortunately, our ship has crashed due to Earth's gravitational pull. This has increased the number of days it will take to get back. I will need a few more days until I get back. Is it okay if I return a little late? Dib asked. Professor Membrane thought and nodded. Yes, take the time you need. We'll put someone else to gather substances from Iris? He said. I asked like you guys can see the text. The call ended and Dib put the communicator back in his pack. Ooh, that rhymed. Now Dib and Gaz would need to worry about disguises and shelter. The machine that generates disguises was on the ship. Since the ship was broke, so was the machine. Luckily, the Tallists gave them backup disguises. They weren't special, but they were due. Dib, they'll easily recognize you as an alien. Your head's too big, Gaz joked. Dib put on the disguise and rolled his eyes. Real funny, Gaz. Dib dragged Gaz into a neighborhood nearby and took a look at the houses. He held a small cube in his hand. Soon, he found an empty spot where he could place the cube. The cube then transformed into a house with a lab underneath. Gaz stared at it, unimpressed. Dib walked and looked around. It was pretty small, being compared to the mass. Oh my gosh. It was pretty small, being compared to the massive. It would do just fine, though. Gaz, I'm going to the lab to study human activity. Don't do anything, Dib said, glaring at her. He crawled back into the trash can and got transferred to the lab. Computer, search human activity, Dib demanded. The computer obeyed his command, and Dib looked at what the results were. Apparently, small humans do something called high school. This is where you learn to be human and successful. Dib was successful already, but did not know how to act human, so he considered going to high school. Any slight mistakes would make the humans suspicious. This could lead to chaos. After a few minutes of thinking, Dib enrolled in a high school nearby. People said it was hell, but maybe they were just weak. He enrolled Gaz into it as well. Maybe he can make some wait, I'm so sorry, y'all. Alliances. I'm gonna assume it's a synonym for allies and go with that. He could make some allies. They could repair the ship and get back to the massive. Yes, that would work. The next day, Dib got out of the house with Gaz and started walking to the high school. They were told to wait in the office until called to the classroom. They waited a few seconds until called. And here are new students, Gaz and Dib Membrane. The teacher motioned for us to come inside, and she told us where our seats were. Dib sat in the corner and Gaz sat in the middle. Anyways, I'm Miss Control B Rains, but you can call me Miss Brains. We're going to continue our lesson from yesterday, so try to catch up, she told Gaz and Dib. Dib participated in class most of the time. It was too easy, so why not share it with the class? That'd make him worthy of being in Dib's class. Later at lunch, Dib sat alone with Gaz. He didn't mind. He'd rather sit next to Gaz than any filthy human. Who knows what diseases they could have. Suddenly, he heard a tray hit the table they sat at. Some kid was settling himself down there. He had black hair and magenta eyes. Their hair was shaped like two horns. The kid sat down and started to eat his food. He left the beans on the tray, untouched. So I decided to sit here because those brat kids kicked me out of my own table, he said awkwardly. Gaz paid no attention to the boy and continued to play on her console. Anyways, my name is Zim. I heard that you're Dib, right? He asked. Dib slowly nodded and pretended to be interested about this random kid's life as the kid continued talking. He just went on, not realizing that when he finished, it was PE time. Dib and Gaz had gotten up before he'd even finished, though. The children stood on either sides of the court, and the coach blew the whistle. There were two tall kids, one with red dyed hair and the other with purple hair. They told a few kids on Dib's team to get out. Peculiarly, they did as commanded with a smile on their face. I guess they respect taller beings as well, Dib thought. Soon, Gaz and Dib had gotten everyone on the tallest team out. Oh, the tall kids team out. While Gaz was doing that, everyone on Dib's team left. It was down to those four. Purple threw a ball at Gaz, but she caught it. She brought Spleen back to the game and got Purple out. Red got another ball from somewhere and hit Spleen. Getting him back was pointless. Dib threw a ball at Red, but he caught it. Dib got out of the game as Scooge entered Red's side. You could see that Red was disappointed with having Scooge, and not Purple, back in the game. Gaz picked up a ball and threw it at Scooge's head. She added so much force it looked like Scooge had almost broken his skull. Scooge had gotten out. No, if you hit someone, whatever. Sorry, if you hit someone in the head, you're out, right? In dodgeball? Okay, not important. Sorry. Scooge had gotten out. It was just Gaz and Red. Red threw a ball at Gaz, but missed. She was so short. Red, being taller, made him an easier target. Gaz threw it at him, and he was out of the game. Red got irritated by the fact that he was beaten by a short newbie. Purple tried to calm him down with a small pack of donuts. Surprisingly, it worked. "Excellent job, Gaz," Dib yelled. Gaz ignored his praise and went back to her video game. They walked all the way to the next period. You'd never believe who was in the same period. It was none other than Zim. "Hey, strange how we have this period together. I wish I had this much common periods with," he said, sitting next to Dib. The science period started before he could finish his sentence. What were they learning about? The only thing Dib was bad at: human anatomy and organs. Unfortunately, the high school expected you to know about most of the parts they discussed in lower grades. They first explained the lungs of the human and how it allows them to breathe. Dib wrote down a few notes. When humans breathe, they breathe out their lungs. They use the muscles from the rib cage, mostly major muscle and diaphragm. The diaphragm will tighten and flatten, collecting air. The heart pumps the blood to everything else. Once it dies, so does the human. While Dib was finishing the notes, kids got up to get out of the classroom. "You write notes?" Zim asked. Dib nodded and put the punctuation at the end of his notes. He walked out of the classroom and left Zim behind. In the middle of the day, they would get a few minutes of free time out in the yard of the school. They can use their phones, play, or be the weirdos they are and dig up worms. Dib saw Zim talking to Red. Maybe Zim can help with identifying substances. Yeah, that'd be helpful. Dib walked up to Zim. "Hey, could you come back to my house and help me with something? It'd be really quick," he stated. Zim looked and nodded. Zim could hang out with Dib while Dib gets information on substances found on Earth. It would be beneficial to both people. That way, nobody can complain. Dib would still have to hope that nothing goes wrong, though. Zim could accidentally go into the lab, or he could come out while Dib's out of disguise. to avoid catastrophe, Dib would have to be careful. Okay, that was the end of chapter 1. Hopefully y'all enjoyed that. And also hopefully I'll probably skim the next chapter just in case. I don't know, I'm just paranoid that things will go south and I won't be able to finish it. But at the same time, I should probably upload this sooner rather than later so I don't leave you guys with nothing to watch. So yeah, hope you all enjoyed. If you did, tell me down below. And if you have any suggestions for fanfiction on Wattpad that will suffice the game happy vibes, please let me know. I would love to give y'all what you want, you know? So yeah, if you liked it, please comment. I do love reading your comments. And I'll see you guys in the next video. I wasn't recording any of that.